Imagine you're at the beach. You run into the waves, dive under, and just stay there. No panic, no rushing back up for air. You're breathing, calmly, like a fish, forever. Okay, now the big question. What would actually happen if humans could breathe underwater? First, let's set the stage. Right now, fish don't actually breathe water. They breathe oxygen, just like us. The trick is, they have gills that can pull a tiny amount of oxygen out of water, which is way harder than pulling from the air. Air is packed with oxygen compared to water. That's why fish are constantly gulping water through their gills. It's like sipping oxygen through a clogged straw. Now imagine if humans had that same ability. Our lungs would basically be replaced with super gills. Suddenly, the ocean, lakes, and rivers would be wide open real estate. Forget beach houses. People would start buying reef-side condos. Step 1. Comfort. The ocean isn't exactly made for humans. Sure, you can breathe, but what about seeing? Unless you've got giant fish eyes, everything's blurry. And hearing? Sound underwater is super weird. Voices would sound like garbled robot whales. Talking to your friends would be less, "Hey, what's up?" and more blub blub wum. Step 2. Pressure. The deeper you go, the heavier the water pressing down on you. At just 30 feet below the surface, it's already like strapping an extra atmosphere onto your body. At 100 feet, your chest feels like it's in a vice grip. And if you try to wander down to the Titanic at 12,500 feet, your bones would not be sending thank you notes. Breathing underwater doesn't magically fix being squished like a soda can. Step 3. Temperature. Most of the ocean is cold, like refrigerator cold. Without special gear, you'd be shivering nonstop. So unless you enjoy hypothermia, the forever part might not be as cozy as it sounds. But let's say we adapt. We build underwater cities with lights, heating, and maybe waterproof Wi-Fi. Suddenly, humans aren't tied to land anymore. We could farm seaweed instead of corn, harvest fish sustainably, and maybe even sleep in little coral bunk beds. And travel? Total game changer. Forget planes. If you could swim forever, you could literally cross the Atlantic like a human submarine. It would take months, sure, but hey, you'd save on baggage fees. And then there's a big reveal. Earth's surface is about 30% land and 70% water. That means right now, most of our planet is basically off limits to us. If humans could breathe underwater, we'd instantly triple the amount of living space. New resources, new frontiers, new neighbors, like dolphins who may or may not be thrilled about us crashing their turf. Of course, there's a darker side. If billions of people suddenly moved underwater, we'd bring our bad habits with us. Pollution, overfishing, maybe even underwater traffic jams. Imagine waiting in a line of slow-swimming commuters while some guy in front of you is texting on his waterproof phone. But maybe, just maybe, living underwater would teach us something. To see the oceans not as a dump site or a vacation spot, but as part of our home. And when something becomes your home, you usually try to take better care of it. So, what if you could breathe underwater, like a fish forever? You'd gain freedom, adventure, and a whole new world to explore. But you'd also face pressure, cold, and the reality that humans, well, we tend to complicate things. Still, imagine standing on a coral reef at sunset, watching sharks drift by while you sip oxygen straight from the sea. Not a bad trade-off. Thanks for diving into this thought experiment with me. If you enjoyed the swim, hit like, drop a comment with what underwater superpower you want, and subscribe for more strange science, what ifs. Who knows, maybe one day we really will join the fish.